Well, Doctor, thank you for coming. I'm very excited about our negotiations. We're very eager for your group to join our hospital system. And I just wanted to, kind of get an idea where you're coming from. I understand you were in a HMO previously, and what was your experience with that?
We had a very bad experience with the HMO. They tried to tell us what to do all the time, and they really told us things that were counterproductive to the practice. So we really want to have some control over the practice itself. I think we know how to run a practice definitely more than the HMO people did. And I think the hospital may think they know how to run a physician practice. I'm sure they know more about running a hospital than we do, but running a physician practice is not like running a hospital, and I think we need to have a lot of input.
What experiences did you have specifically about difficulty between your practice and physicians and the HMO? Were there a lot of conflicts? Did you feel like you weren't heard?
Yeah, we weren't heard. We felt that we had to obey orders. We had no input in how to do things. They had their procedures. We had to follow the procedures. There was no discussion.
In Three Rivers, we really don't follow that philosophy. We really want to be inclusive of all our groups, our physicians. We really value our physicians, and we want to make sure that everyone feels heard and part of the process to solving problems.
Have you done these mergers before?
Yes, we've had several groups join our hospital system, and they've gone very well, and the feedback has been that the physicians feel very validated when they have a concern, and that we really try to work together to solve problems.
And what do you see as making this thing successful? What's the most important thing in your mind to make this successful?
I think we really we need to make sure that we're on the same page in terms of the function of the operations, and that we really have a good structure in place for problem solving.
Do you think that you know how to run a physician practice? How do you see the hospital interacting with the physicians as far as running the practice? How do you see in your other acquisitions? How did that work?
I think we took each practice and looked at it as an individual group and did not try to treat everyone the same. We know that a group of, say, internists versus surgeons would function much differently, and we really try to tailor how we respond to them based on the people involved.
Okay, let's talk salary now. This is important for us. We have a top group. Our physicians are the best in the area. Our staff, we've put a lot of time into training our staff, and I think we should be paid at the top of the range, which according to the statistics is at $230,000. So I think we should go for the $230,000, which is the top.
And we've done our research in the area, and we know the range here for comparable physicians is between 190 would be the lower end, and 230 is definitely the upper end. So we would want to say maybe a little bit in the median range, so 210 is what we would want to offer.
Yeah, we feel like we are the top physicians in the area, and I think you're not going to be sorry. And then we could add in productivity and penalties if we don't bring in enough money to pay those salaries. I mean, we're used to getting that, but I think if we could trade the length of the contract, we could go down to 220 if you give us a 5-year contract.
I think that could be fine as long as we have some additional terms regarding productivity that might be in the balance. So if we look at that and do the 220 with a 5-year contract, I think we'd be in agreement if we also take another look at productivity.
Right. There should be some kind of bonus if we exceed the money that would need to be done to justify that salary, or penalties if we if we don't bring in enough money to pay that kind of salary. So I think that would
Okay.
be fine.
Okay.
And that's what we do now, so it would be no change for us.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
Well, what I was saying before, it's really important to us to have some kind of control, because we have a bad taste in our mouth from that HMO that used to own us. They told us what to do, and they really didn't know how to run an office. And I'm not sure hospitals really know what's involved in running a physician office.
Well, Doctor, we have a lot of experience. We've had several groups join our hospital system, but we understand how that is very important and how you might feel following that bad experience with that HMO. So what if we could come up with an agreement about control that could be mutually beneficial?
Yeah, so I think we're looking at a board of directors with 5 members. So we would like to have 3 physicians and 2 hospital people. That way we would maintain control.
Mm-hmm. And I think because we're putting in so much, we're at so much more risk to the bigger system, we would like to have the 3 administrators and 2 physicians and the board of directors to make decisions.
Yeah, the problem with that is if all 3 hospital people agree on one issue and 2 physicians disagree, we will be outvoted every time. So what I'm thinking, a way to get around that is to have a mediator. If that happens, if the 3 hospital people are diametrically opposed to what the 2 physician members want, we should involve a mediator and try to resolve the issue that way. As long as we have some recourse that we're not going to have the hospital shoving things down our throat.
Right, I think that's a fair trade-off, because we want everyone to be collaborative and for the benefit of the group and the hospital, so I think we could agree on that.
Okay.